everyone, today we're going to be looking at how to build this really compact 6x6 vault door that I built for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. As you can see, it has a lightning fast closing as well as opening. It has the fastest possible closing for a 6x6 vault door and the fastest possible opening with the layout that I'm using. Now, I designed the layout myself. It basically allows you to have the center blocks of the 6x6 vault door to be the same for the back side. Now, what you'd have to do in most designs is kind of like build these next to each other. You'd have to build two 6x6 funnel doors next to each other and sort of get a quote-unquote vault door. But in this one, the entire design comes together as one, and we can have the center blocks for both the front and the back. Now, this design is also spam-proof because of the extenders that I'm using. So you can spam this, and you do not have to worry about it breaking. If it does break, closing the door and reopening it will fix it 100% of the time. This is also a very easy door to build, let alone the fact that it is this big and compact. But anyways, the last thing that I want to say before I start off with the tutorial is that the front side is completely independent from the back side, meaning that you can actually build this as a funnel door. So funnel door is a one-sided vault door. So here we have the funnel door. As you can see, it closes just as fast as the vault door. In fact, it is identical to the vault door, it's just that we do not have the back two layers, because those are dependent from the front, and the front is independent from the back. So you can just remove them, and it works exactly the same. You obviously have an ugly back, but if you want to build this, this video is also going to feature a tutorial for that. But anyways, let's begin. So, the first thing that you will need to know is how you're going to power your door, and this can go one of two ways. You can either have some redstone dust there, and then place a redstone block here. So, what would happen was that you'd have a piston up here, and it would pretty much push the block into place. So, you place a piston there, and it pushes and retracts the block into place, either closing or opening your door. That is the first way of doing it, and the second way of doing it is by placing a block there, redstone repeater there, and a block there, and then you can power this redstone line by whatever means you want. You can connect it up to anything as well, redstone dust key, combination lock, do whatever you want. So yeah, that's how you power the store. It's pretty simple. I just thought that I'd explain it at the beginning of the video. But anyways, on with the actual materials list. So we're going to have two materials lists. We're going to have one for the funnel door and one for the vault door. For the funnel door, you are going to need 55 redstone dust, 19 redstone repeaters, 28 sticky pistons, 12 normal pistons, 16 observers, 8 slime blocks, 4 honey blocks, 19 non-sticky blocks, or blocks that do not interact with slime or honey, 11 glass, 64 blocks, and another 54. So these blocks don't actually have to be movable. You can actually use glazed terracotta. As long as you can place redstone components on them, you are good to go. But anyways, for the 6x6 vault door, or the double-sided one, you are going to need a stack of 15 of redstone dust, 29 redstone repeaters, 50 sticky pistons, 24 normal pistons, 30 observers, 12 slime blocks, 8 honey blocks, 23 blocks that do not interact with slime or honey, 11 glass, 3 stacks of blocks, and 2 more. Now, the solid blocks, which will be used for building, include everything from the hallway to the redstone wiring, but I would suggest bringing a tiny bit extra because you are probably going to lose some when mining it in case you ever do mess up. But anyways, let's begin the tutorial. So I'm going to start off by teaching you guys how to build the funnel door and then how to transform it into the vault door. I feel like that is the easiest thing to do. So we're going to start off by placing in all of the obsidian, and then we're going to continue with the piston layout. So you're going to place obsidian like this. Keep in mind this can also be glazed terracotta of any kind, or I think even scaffolding. No, you can't really do scaffolding. Okay, but anyways, so that's it for the obsidian. Now we're going to place in our honey blocks and some tricky to place observers, as well as our sticky pistons and pistons. So slime blocks there, and then temporary blocks there, 3 sticky pistons just like this, a block there, and an observer right there. You're going to leave it like that for now. Then you're going to place in pistons right there, and then sticky pistons right here. So you're going to place in 1, 2, 3, and 4, just like that. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So 2 slime, this can also be honey, it doesn't really matter, because they have the same properties in Minecraft Bedrock. And then you're going to place in 2 temporary blocks, 2 sticky pistons, a block right here, and an observer facing downwards right there. Brilliant. Now you're going to place in 2 pistons like that, and then 3 going up, and 1 sticky piston right there. Okay, so now on the top, what you're going to do is place in 2 slime blocks, 2 honey blocks, a temporary block there, remove these temporarily, and you're going to place sticky pistons facing downwards. So 1, 2, 3, remove this, and that's the 4th one. You're also going to go ahead and place 1, 2, 3, 4 normal pistons, and you can place back your ceiling. Now, you're going to place a block there, and a sticky piston there, another block there, and another sticky piston right there. So that is it for the top layout. Now, for the bottom part, what you're going to do is that you're going to start off by placing a sticky piston facing upwards right there. Actually, then what you're going to do is place in 2 slime blocks, 2 honey blocks, so just like we did at the bottom, a block there, and you're going to place in 4 sticky pistons facing upwards, just like that, and then 4 more pistons facing upwards, just like that, once again. A block there, sticky piston there facing upwards, there we go. No, that's not upwards. Upwards, there we go. And you can remove that temporary block which we had underneath. So that is it for the actual layout of the store. Now what you're going to do is you're going to place a block there. So grab your redstone dust and you're going to place it there. So here is where our input is going to be. You can place your lever right there if you brought it. If you didn't bring one, that's fine. I would suggest bringing one though in the future. So here we're going to have our lever over here. So there we go. It's going to be right here. So when you place the block, you have your lever right there. Here you're going to place some glass, and here you are going to have a block of iron. You're going to have a redstone repeater there, and then a redstone repeater there. That's going to be going into a block, and you're going to place another block there with some redstone dust on top of it, but we'll leave that for now, because right now we're going to work on a different part of the circuit. So, continue by placing a redstone repeater set to 3 ticks, like that. Block there, blocks here, and then you're going to connect this up to the repeater, just like that. Now, over here, what you're going to do is you're going to place a movable block right there, a redstone repeater set to 2 ticks of delay, and some redstone dust right there. Now, you're going to place a block right there, and an observer, which is kind of tricky to place, right here. You can hold... Oh, I guess I can't place it. So, place a temporary block there and there, I guess, and you're going to place an observer facing downwards, right there. There we go. So, you can remove this, and then place a repeater set to 4 ticks of delay, block there, and some redstone dust right here. Place some redstone dust there, a block, and then a repeater set to 2 ticks right there, and you're going to connect this up like this to the circuit. So now that's going to activate once the door closes. Now you're going to place an observer facing upwards right there with a block on its face, and redstone repeater set to 2 ticks going into some redstone dust, and then there's going to be a block right here. We're going to repeat what we just did on the other side. So a block there, redstone dust right there, redstone repeater set to 2 ticks right there, a block, some redstone dust, and observer facing upwards with a block on his face, and then you're going to place some redstone dust here. It's going to go down like this, and we're not actually going to place a repeater over here because we already have that on that side and we don't need to repeat it. But what we are going to do, however, is place in 2 redstone dust right there. That's just going to make the closing a tiny bit faster, but it does make it fast enough so that it looks a lot more synchronized and a lot better. Anyways, now that's done. You're going to place in an immovable block right there, some redstone dust right there and there. You're going to place in a repeater set 2 ticks right there. There's going to be a block up here with some redstone dust on top of it, not on its face. Blocks do not have faces. Okay, so then you're going to place an observer facing downwards, going into a block right there, which is going to power this piston once everything retracts, which will make our hallway look smooth, because no one wants a hallway with indents in it. It is just the ugliest thing ever. So, placing that there, a block, a redstone repeater set to 2 ticks of delay, a block, and then some redstone dust right here. And that should actually be the entire extension of the top done. So you can go ahead and test it. You can see that it is working, and so is the retraction. We do not have the drill piston extension fully working yet, and that is actually what we're going to finish right now. So you're going to start off by grabbing your glass, which you will be needing, placing that there and there. Then it's going to go like this. Actually, this also needs to be glass, so place it like this. There we go. Then you're going to have a solid block right there, then some more glass right here, and some more glass right there. So that is going to spiral down like this. Then you're going to have blocks here, a block here, and you're going to connect this up. So now we have the triple piston extension fully up and working, and then this is going to go down like this. So you're going to place in blocks here, redstone dust there, and a repeater set to 1 tick of delay, and that is going to be going into a block. Wait, no, not yet. We need some redstone dust there, and now we can place our redstone repeater set to 1 tick of delay. That is going to be going into a block, which will be next to this sticky piston. So that's going to be like that. You can place in some redstone dust right there, and then you're going to place an observer facing downwards, which will have a sticky piston on its face with an observer on its face. And then you're going to place in 2 solid blocks right there. So now what you can do is over here, you're going to place in blocks just like this. Your repeater set to 2 ticks of delay, and then it's going to be a solid block and some redstone dust right here. So you can then go ahead and connect this up with some redstone dust, just like this. And over here, what you can do is that you're going to place in a redstone repeater set to 1 tick of delay. There we go, 1 tick of delay. And then a redstone repeater set to 2 ticks of delay. And that's actually a block too far. We need to place it like this. There we go. So now you can go ahead and connect this up to the piston, which is located above. Now, we are in a bit of a tricky spot right now, so what we're going to do is temporarily break this, place in that observer, and then place our glass back with some redstone dust on top of it. So believe it or not, that is actually the closing fully working for that side. But we still need to work on the other side, so let's get on with that. So, before we do anything, we're not going to do the same mistake twice. We're actually going to start off by placing these 3 observers, which get tricky to place later on. So, place 4 temporary blocks, and then 3 observers facing upwards, just like that. So, now we're going to work on this part right here. You're going to place in some glass there, and then some more glass right here. No, you're going to place in a solid block there, and then some glass right here. And then you're also going to place some more glass right there and there. So now you have 5 pieces of glass. You're going to connect all of those up, and you're going to run it into this, just like that. So now we have the triplet extension working, and we can then connect this up to the bottom, so we can have the double piston extension on the other side working. So place in a block there, another block right here, redstone dust on top of both of them. There's going to be a block here, and then there's going to be a repeater on top of this block, which will be going into this block right here, which is going to activate the main bulk of the of the right side of the front of the double piston extender for the bottom. Oh, that's a handful of things to say. But anyways, placing some redstone dust there and there, a block, another block there, and a repeater set to 1 tick. This repeater, you don't really need it, but it does make the door a lot faster in the closing. Very similar to what those 2 redstone bits do at the top. It does the exact same thing, just makes the closing a tiny bit faster. But anyways, repeater there set to 1 tick, and a repeater there set to 4 ticks. And believe it or not, that is actually the funnel door done. It is a very, very simple build. So if you go ahead and close the door, we can see that it is working. But we do need one last thing before we open it, and that is a piston right there with an observer on its face facing this way, and then 2 more blocks. So now we're actually done. So if we go ahead and open the door, we can see that it is working. It is a very, very easy build. That is the funnel door complete. If you are building the funnel door, keep in mind that you will be needing to place in immovable blocks right here, but that is not part of the actual door itself. That is more part of the hallway to make it look nice. But anyways, that is it for the funnel door, and let's get on with the vault door. If you're going to leave because all you wanted to build was the funnel door, thank you guys so much for watching, but we're going to build the vault door now. So, for those of you who are building the vault door, let's continue. We're going to start off by doing something very similar. We're going to place in all the pistons and some tricky to place observers. Oh, hi. That's one of my friends, so let's ignore him for now. So you're going to place in 2 observers right there, and then an observer facing upwards right there. So once that's done, you're going to go over to the other side and do the exact same thing. So 2 normal pistons, and then you're going to have 3 observers facing upwards. So 1, 2, and then a temporary block right there, and that is 3. Brilliant. Okay, so once that's done, what you're going to do is that we're going to work on the rest of the pistons. So grab your honey and your slime blocks, because we're going to be placing a lot of it. Placing slime blocks there, honey blocks there. Break these roof blocks temporarily, and then you're going to place in 4 sticky pistons facing downwards. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Something I love about the Pocket Edition is you can get all sorts of weird angles with sticky pistons and placing components. My favorite example is the repeater facing you. So right now I wouldn't be able to place a repeater facing me, except facing that way, except that because I'm Pocket Edition, I can do that. It is very weird to look at, but it is something you can do. Anyways, back onto the tutorial. I'm getting a bit sidetracked here. Placing 2 redstone dust for now, and then over here you're going to place in a block, a sticky piston, a block, and a sticky piston, and then over here what we're going to do is that we're going to place in a temporary block, 3 sticky pistons, and then another one on the bottom, just like this. Same thing on the other side, so block, 3 sticky pistons, and 1 on the bottom. So, down at the bottom, we're going to place in our final bits of the piston layout. And so we're going to start off by placing slime, sticky pistons facing upwards. You will need a temporary block, so 1, 2, 3, 4 sticky pistons, and then 4 normal pistons. So that's 1, 2, 3, no, that's a repeater, 3 and 4. There we go. So there are our 4 pistons facing upwards. That is actually it for the piston layout. Now, one thing that we need to do, obviously because we're going to be moving a lot more blocks, we do need to place in a tiny bit of extra obsidian. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 extra pieces of obsidian, which you will need to place in. Now that that's done, we can continue with the actual redstone part of this. So you're going to place in some redstone dust right here on top of a block and observe facing upwards, which is going to be going into a block, which will have a redstone repeater set to 2 ticks, going into some redstone dust, which will be going into a block. Do the exact same thing on the other side. So block there with some redstone dust on top of it, observer there, block there, redstone repeater set to 2 ticks, going into some redstone dust, going into a block. So that should actually be the entire double piston extension done. Except for one last thing, we need to place in redstone dust there, and same thing on the other side. So now that that's done, you can place in a block and some redstone dust there, a block and some redstone dust there, and the way which we are going to connect this isn't actually by having a bunch of glass here, but the most cost-effective way of doing it is by actually grabbing the redstone signal of the other side and having it go up and placing a redstone repeater right here. So you're going to do that on the other side as well. Have the redstone line go up like this. There we go, just like that. And then we're going to have a redstone repeater set to 1 tick of delay right there. So on the bottom, we just need to work on this part right here, which is what's going to push the blocks back up once we are done. So because we already connected this to the bottom, we don't really need to do all that much more. We just need to place an observer here, another one right here, a sticky piston right there with an observer on its face facing the outside of the door, and then 4 blocks right here. We're going to do the exact same thing with the sticky piston right here. So sticky piston, an observer on its face. And here, what you're going to do is you're going to place a block, 2 redstone dust, 2 more blocks, and a repeater set to 1 tick, and a repeater set to 4 ticks of delay, just like that. Do the same thing on the other side, so 1, 2, 3 blocks, 2 redstone dust, repeater set to 1 tick, and a repeater set to 4 ticks of delay. And that is pretty much the entire door done. It is a very, very, very easy build. I would highly recommend this to anybody starting out with redstone because it is a very cool looking door and it's actually not too difficult to build. So as you can see, we have the closing fully done, but we do need to place in two more pistons that I forgot. 1 piston there and 1 piston there. There we go. Now the door is fully done. Sorry about that. But anyways, you can see that we have our closing fully working, except for one last thing. We need to place in our observers right here with blocks on underneath them, then a repeater set to 4 ticks, a block, and some redstone dust right there. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So an observer right here, and then a block. Oh my goodness, there we go, an observer right there, and then a block, and a repeater set to 4 ticks of delay, a block, and some redstone dust on top of it. And now we're actually done. So there it is. The door is fully done. As you can see, it closes nice and easy on both sides. And that's pretty much it for the tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, you found it useful. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me down in the comment section. I will also be having a world download in the description, so you can check that out if you don't want to build this and just want to look at it in person. But anyways, that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found this useful, but I will see you all next time. Bye!